episode of the Boy Time Podcast. My name is Clint Eastwood, back at it again with a new episode. As always, I'm joined by Babby.
Ah,
Whoa, we have a slam dunk episode, as always. Um, week 10 of Simian summer, um, which means that next week is the last week. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
it's almost over.
It's almost
My
over.
life is over.
It's almost ready for avian autumn or maybe
Mm-hmm.
a feline fall.
Ooh.
It's hard to say. Hard to say. I don't think that's going to happen, but honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'll have to really brainstorm. But I won't have to do that for a while because, this week we're going to talk about Every Which Way But Loose, the hit film where Clint Eastwood stars opposite an orangutan. And next week, we're going to be talking about the hit film Space Chimps, closing out the Simian Summer Marathon with a classic.
Bang.
Everybody loves Space Chimps. Will it hold up and be one of those weird animated movies that somehow holds up like robots? Or
No.
will it be really bad like Ants? Hard to say. I guess we'll find out next week. But I guess without further ado, I guess we'll talk about Every Which Way But Loose. I'm not gonna lie, this movie was terrible. Um, I'm just gonna get that out of the way. But somehow, it was the second highest grossing movie of 1978. Do you know what beat it?
Star Wars.
Close. That was the year before. Grease.
Mm.
So you got Grease, and then number 2 was Clint Eastwood and an orangutan. The 70s were weird, I guess you could say. But yeah, I watched this film. This film came highly recommended by my mother, who watched it when she was 4 and remembered that the monkey was funny in it, and therefore it was probably a good movie. So we watched it together. We got together and watched this movie. And when it ended, I think the first words she said was, "That might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my whole life." So I guess that's saying something. But I guess we'll just talk about what the movie is because it's kind of interesting. Basically, Clint Eastwood is a fighter man. He participates in non sanctioned underground street fighting. He has a manager guy who's kind of his dumb brother or something, and he finds fights for Clint Eastwood to fight in. And Clint Eastwood is basically like the best fighter in the whole world. He beats up like 4 people at the same time, and he's so good at it that at one point we don't even really need to see it because he's beating people up, but we're just like we're not even looking at it. We just hear sound effects of punching, and we just know that Clint Eastwood is beating up all those people while we just watch his manager eat a delicious, succulent meal at a diner. So that's fun. So yeah, he's a super fighter man, and he pisses off a bunch of Nazi bikers who are dumb and bumbling and basically not very intimidating at all. I don't know if they are ever successful in anything they try to do ever, um, which some could say is indicative of Nazis at large, but I would argue that it is a pretty bad idea to depict Nazis as bumbling and incompetent when that's what they want you to think. But what do I know? I'm not a crazy person on LSD in the 70s, so they obviously know better than I do. Um, so those are the bad guys. Clint Eastwood also punches a cop at a bar, and a reasonable cop would be like, well, I don't know if there's such a thing, But a reasonable cop would be like, "Oh, you just punched me. I'm going to arrest you for assaulting an officer, and you're going to go to jail for a long time." This cop was a little bit different, and he's like, "Hey, buddy cop, how about me and you just take some vacation time and murder Clint Eastwood?" Um, and his buddy cop, much like other cops that don't report all of the crimes that their fellow officers commit, he says yes. And they go on a road trip tracking down Clint Eastwood, who is kind of like oblivious to all of these shenanigans, all of these people that have vendettas against him, because really, at its core, the movie is a love story between Clint Eastwood and a rising country music star who is, I think her name is Lady, and she is in the movie very sparingly, but she does sing some songs, and then she hooks up with Clint Eastwood. Um, and yeah, and then she just kind of like leaves. And so then Clint Eastwood is like, "Oh, I think she said that she was from Denver. So I'm going to pack up all of my belongings and bring my little roadie guy. And we're going to go on a road trip to Denver." Meanwhile, the bikers are chasing them and the cops are chasing them. And it's a great kind of chase film, I guess you could say. But I know what you're thinking. um, you've talked about the movie for 3 or 4 minutes now at this point, and you haven't even brought up the monkey. And that's for a very good reason, because the monkey doesn't matter at all, and it's completely inconsequential to the rest of the movie. So the monkey is there, and his name is Clyde, which is probably the best name for an orangutan. If I'm going to give the movie any points, it's going to be for naming the orangutan Clyde. And honestly, I don't even know if I can give the movie that point, because he's credited as Clyde as himself. So I'm assuming that the trainers actually named him Clyde, and then the movie was like, "What do we name the orangutan? Oh, his name is Clyde. We'll just do that." I think that's what happened. But yeah, he's there, and Clint Eastwood won him in a fight, obviously, because Clint Eastwood is the best fighter in the whole world. And the orangutan, I guess Clint Eastwood did a fight at like a roadside zoo that I think were more prevalent in the days before I was born. In that, like, "Hey, come see this roadside zoo. We have a bunch of exotic animals like an orangutan and a sad lemur or something." And it's like really bad living conditions, and they live in cages, but you can pay like $1 for some food and have them eat out of your hand, which is, the life. But basically, Clint Eastwood saw that and was like, "Hey, this orangutan shouldn't be here. I guess all of the other animals don't matter, but I'm going to fight for this orangutan." And the orangutan is the best part of the movie. He does all sorts of tricks. At one point, they're being chased by the bikers, and Clyde actually opens up the back door and flips them off. That's funny. That's all I
That's
gotta say.
talent.
It's talent. It's talent. How do you train a monkey to do that? I don't know. He actually does it a couple times. You can tell that they they train the monkey to do like 4 things because he starts repeating.
Keeps
Uh,
doing them.
yeah, yeah. At one point, he smooches a lady, and then at another point in the movie, he smooches a biker. So they're like, "Hey, Clyde, smooch," and then he does the smooch move, or "Hey, Clyde, do the bird," and then he does the bird. And they do that a couple times. Probably the best trick that Clyde does is they do the classic like um, like you train a dog to be like, "Reach for the sky," and then you pull out a gun and you go bang, and then the dog falls over and like plays dead. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, they taught the orangutan to do that, and it's just funnier seeing like an orangutan like reach for the sky, and then like he actually reaches for the sky, and then he goes bang. And I don't think they taught Clyde any self control, because he basically like jumps up in the air and lands flat on his back. I'm like, man, that kind of seems like it would hurt, but he was just kind of chill, you know. I guess I guess orangutans and other great apes have better spines than we do since they're not bipedal. Which also, this is something I've been meaning to bring up for like all of these monkey movies. But what is it with all of these monkey movies making apes walk on two legs? It's been in like over half of them, where it's like that looks so weird and unnatural. And like I don't even know if I brought it up in the Planet of the Apes movies, but it's weird. Even in like the new ones where they're like CGI and they're like walking on two legs, and it's like I get it. The original movies were just dudes in suits, but like apes aren't bipedal. They walk on four legs. Um, yes, they have like opposable thumbs and they can grab things with their arms, but uh, they walk on all fours. And that is true of every single great ape except for us, because we chose to be able to throw things instead of have good back. So I guess I don't know. Thank thank God. The what was there a God of evolution? What of Gaia? What is a
Gaia is the earth.
oh, okay. Then thank Gaia, I guess, for giving us a bad back, but we could throw stick pretty far and hit a mammoth. So you win some, you lose some. But yeah, that's a big thing because Clyde always walks on two legs, and it made me like very. I'm like, why? Why would you train an ape to just walk on its hind legs when the whole point? Orangutans have huge arms, and you wonder why we have relatively short arms because we don't walk on our arms. But if you look at like a chimpanzee or an orangutan do like the T pose, they have like way longer wingspans than we would have if we were like, proportionate to like their height. Whatever. This is a dumb thing, but it just kind of drives me crazy in these monkey movies when they make all the apes walk on two legs. It's not scientifically accurate. And as we all know, monkey movies are supposed to be scientifically accurate. Even in Bedtime for Bonzo. Like it's a baby chimp and they were having him walk on two legs. And I'm like, that I don't know how you train a baby chimp to do that, but I can't imagine it's ethically. So another point against Bedtime for Bonzo, and another point against this movie, but I don't know if it needs any more points taken away. Because I think this movie's biggest inspiration was Easy Rider, which is, funnily enough, a movie that I covered in the last marathon we did, the smash hit desert marathon, where we watched movies that all took place in the desert. And Easy Rider was in the road trip section, and I hated that movie. I think unironically it might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen, where it's just Robert Redford and the other dude, and they're riding on their motorcycles, and a full '60s rock song would play. And I'm like, this is the most boring movie I have ever seen. There's absolutely no plot, no story. And that's pretty much this movie because Clint Eastwood falls in love and just kind of like by chance, just because Clint Eastwood likes punching people, he kind of like draws the ire of a bunch of other random factions like police and Nazis. Um, you know, it's just what happens. If you're like walking around and you bump a guy funny and you punch him, you're gonna draw enemies. But what's weird is that we only see the enemies that Clint Eastwood has made um, from the beginning of the movie. We never get at any point like, oh, you know what you did to me, Clint Eastwood. You beat up four of my biggest, toughest guys. You're such a the best fighter I've ever seen, Clint Eastwood. I love you. Whatever. We never get that. Where it's like we establish his reputation and that he's a big macho man and that he loves to punch men, women, and children, probably. He never punches the ape, which I think is good. That would have been a sad scene. But it does, it's like I want to see or I want to know how big of a badass Clint Eastwood is, and they never establish it. And then he's just like a hopeless romantic going on a road trip with his monkey and best friend slash brother. And then they meet the mom from Christmas Vacation at a roadside stand. And then she kind of joins because the roadie guy kind of falls in love with her. Um, and then she's just there. And it's pretty cool. This movie does get an extra monkey point though, because at one point they're like, hey, Clyde is sad. Why is Clyde sad? Is it that he isn't living in the Pacific Islands in the jungle among his peers and he's instead living in Los Angeles, California, which I guess is like a podunk small town in this universe? Um, no, that's not why Clyde is sad, stupid. It's that he's horny. He's a bricked up little orangutan, and I guess he really wants some female orangutan ass. So they're like, I know we need to stop this road trip. I know I'm hopelessly in love and I'm trying to find this female country singer in Denver. But we have to stop what we're doing because Clyde's a horned up little boy. And so we're going to break into a zoo and they find the orangutan exhibit. And for some reason, there's a door. There's a just like they break into the exhibit and then there's a door that's like the orangutan's bedroom. The female orangutan, I guess, at the zoo has their own bedroom, which is pretty nice. But I've never seen that. But what do I know? Um, so they have a little. So she opens the door, and then Clyde basically makes the ape equivalent of like an awooga thing because he just kind of like runs up to the female ape and then like he kind of like slowly shuts the door while looking at Clint Eastwood and like, yeah, thanks buddy, you got me that premium tail. And then like a Motown slow jam starts playing for like 3 seconds and then it cuts and then transitions to the next scene. um it's like I edited the movie where I do like my stupid music edits like right before the music like starts, I cut the song off. It's like they did that for real, which I guess Tarantino did that, and that's why I do that. But um, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I guess if we want to go into spoilers, I guess we can. It ends on a rather sad note because Clint Eastwood he finds his lady love in Denver. They have sex and then she leaves and then he finds her again and then she's like, you stupid idiot Clint Eastwood, I knew that you were a big old brickhead, just a big beefcake with nothing going on in your old noodle. Yeah, this is I was just using you because you gave me some cash so I can open my own music club and I'm gonna be a big star. Um, I don't know if you heard that Discord message, but Babby is going to be gone for 3 minutes, but that's fine. I can power through. So she's like, "You're using. I used you, you stupid idiot. You can open a club, or I can open a club, and you're going to not see me anymore because I'm in love with my fake tan manager guy." Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. He's just kind of sad, and then he beats up a bunch of Nazis, and then the Nazis die. They don't die. They they just kind of like go home, and then the cops, which I didn't even mention, the cops get beat up, and then Clint Eastwood looks at the camera and does a Tarzan roar because it's the worst movie of all time, and he just kind of beats them up. And then they just kind of go home. And I guess they're just done messing with Clint Eastwood. Um, so that's the movie. Nothing really is resolved. All of the adversaries just kind of give up and go home. Like super anticlimactic. I guess everybody just goes home. It's a road trip movie where they go to Denver, stay there for like 5 minutes, punch each other, and then go home. And like there's barely a plot holding this thing together. It's the most bare bones road trip orangutan movie I've ever seen, and it's just sad. Welcome back.
I gave.
I just described the end of the film, which was great.
Now I won't have it spoiled.
Well, there you go. Now you can watch Every Which Way But Loose, which features a original song by something Rabbit, a country guy with last name Rabbit. Um, Eddie Rabbit. He
It's a great name.
yeah, I guess he was kind of a big smoke show in the 70s. And he made a hit song called Every Which Way But Loose for this movie. And it is one of his top streamed songs on Spotify. So it's a surefire hit and everyone loves it. So it's kind of like, what is it Born to Be Wild? I don't know why I'm asking you. It's the Born to Be Wild and Easy Rider, where it's like it's an original song, but it's like at this point it's like barely associated with the movie that it was originally in. Or like Happy from Despicable Me 2 by Pharrell Williams. Maybe that's a more contemporary example. So that's Every Which Way But Loose. In terms of monkey points, it's going to be pretty low, even though there is some monkey mischief, some monkey tricks, monkey sexual assault, because he's kissing people that definitely do not consent to being smooched by a monkey on the mouth. But honestly, that adds points for me because monkeys committing crimes is funny, just inherently. So, and I'm sure the actors were consenting to being smooched by an orangutan. I know that I would consent if given the opportunity. So, um, I'm gonna give this movie 4 monkey points. It's a far cry from last week's 10 from What Did Jack Do? And I imagine that Space Chimps is also going to be very high, but I guess we'll find out next week on the last week of Simian Summer. It's so sad I don't want it to end. Oh no.
All good things must end.
I know. But it is sad. Everybody is loving Simian Summer. For some reason, it has been the thing that has defined my personality to people because I bring up that I'm watching monkey movies and yeah, they're like, "Oh, really? Have you done this one?" Which is how like Every Which Way But Loose and What Did Jack Do and Space Chimps was originally added because people were like, "You're doing this? Oh, cool. Here's one. Did you think of this?" And yeah, when I was just up in Minneapolis, we went to a record slash movie store, and I was looking at movies, and every time my friend saw a movie that had a monkey in it, she was like, "Hey, you should do this." I'm like, no, I have to cut it off. I can't keep doing Simian Summer, especially since Simian, the actual summer, not Simian Summer, actual summer is going to be ending relatively soon. Um, although I guess we could theoretically do a couple more weeks. I don't know when.
Save
Autumn.
it for Simian Summer 25.
Oh, oh! I didn't think that this was going to be a tradition. But I guess it's a great gimmick. It has a very catchy name, a lot of good alliteration. So yeah, maybe I'll bring it back, but this time it's ending with Space Chimps. Um, the retrospective for this is gonna be wild because unironically, some of the worst movies I've ever seen have come from this marathon and also Planet of the Apes marathon. So
A lot of monkeys.
yeah, I think 4 or 5 half-star movies have come out of this summer alone, which is kind of shocking. But it is rightfully deserved. I never want to watch Beneath the Planet of the Apes or Planet of the Apes Tim Burton version or Shockma or Every Which Way But Loose. Or did I give bed? I don't think I gave Bedtime for Bonzo a half star. Oh, I gave The Ape a half star because that one sucked too. It's just kind of astounding how much trash has come out of this Simian summer. Next year, we're gonna have to do good monkey movies. Although it is fun to talk about bad movies, so I don't know. I like the mix. We'll keep it. Some of it is gonna be hot garbage, and some of it is gonna be very thought provoking, artful masterpieces that also have monkeys in them. Like, there's probably one in Panther Panchali. It's a very famous Indian movie. I'm just saying that because there's a lot of monkeys in India. So I have to imagine that there's probably one, at least in the background, of an establishing shot. I'll count it. It won't rate very high in the monkey points, but I don't really see how that matters. Anyways, enough monkey talk, unfortunately, because if I had the choice, I would just sit here and talk about monkeys all day. But we have to talk about a different kind of beast. Man, the most dangerous killer on the planet.
Great segue.
Thank you. Yes, I watched a very similar film. Aliens. It's actually not. I don't.
The sequel.
Yes, it's the sequel to Alien.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Famously, because the first one was done by Ridley Scott. Second one is James Cameron. James Cameron famously went up to a bunch of studio execs. I don't know who made Alien. I don't know. And he was like, hey, everybody, I'm going to be pitching you a hit film. And he wrote Alien on the chalkboard and then a big old dollar sign as the S. And they were like, well, we're sold, James Cameron. You made Terminator and Terminator 2. I'm just going to give you free reign on this Alien sequel. And that's what they did. And everyone hated working for him because I think the movie was shot in England on a bunch of sound stages. Not that England actually looks like a spooky, rocky hellscape like the planet in Aliens. It's a hellscape for sure, but not a craggy, mountainous one. Um, and I think everyone hated working for James Cameron because they were like, oi, James, I want to drink my tea. I want to have a tea break, James Cameron. And James Cameron said, nah, we're going to make a hit film. And there's no breaks. Um, and they were like, I don't like this. Which is fair, you know? I'm actually on the English people's side, which is a rare sentence for me to say.
Once.
For once. I would also like a tea break, just in general. And I'm talking about like the drink, not the hormone supplement. Of course. But Alien, the hit film Alien, is a movie I saw once when I was in film school, and I thought it was pretty good. It might have been honestly like one of the first horror movies I have ever seen, because I was a very big weenie. I guess I still am to some extent, but I was an even bigger weenie throughout middle school and high school. Did not really want to watch any of those. It wasn't until college and kind of forcing myself to watch Evil Dead, which actually took me 3 or 4 attempts. I had to turn it off halfway every time because it was too scary. Which looking back is kind of funny, but whatever. Um, and so I watched Alien. I didn't watch it in a film school class. I watched it in my dorm at film school with a bunch of my roommates because for some reason we were watching movies every week, and I don't know why Alien made the list because we were watching like, I don't know. We were watching like comedies most of the time, and then it was just Alien for some reason. And I remember really liking it. It's very, very effective at what it does. It's probably the best sci-fi horror movie ever. Certainly one of the most influential. It's basically a slasher movie in space, and the slasher is an alien. And it's shot very creatively. You hardly ever see the alien, which makes it scary. I feel like that's kind of the issue with a lot of modern day horror is that they show you the stuff too much. It's like that's not scary. Seeing the devil subliminally in like half a shot and long legs is gonna be scarier than Annabelle showing up and doing a jump scare. Because anything that is subtle is going to be scarier than something that's in your face. And Alien is a lot of that. You barely see the thing, and he's mostly hiding in the dark. And then he kind of shows up, kills a dude, and then dips. And it's very creepy. The design of the alien is very good. We talked about H.R. Geiger. I think it's Geiger. H.R. Geiger, a German dude who has some pretty cool art. He designed like the space jockey and the xenomorph, and very, very good creature designer, man. And yeah, but we're not talking about Alien. We're talking about Aliens, which honestly, I think that's kind of become a trope where it's like, oh, it's a sequel. We'll just name it blank S. Like Predators, I think was a thing. And well, maybe that's it. There has to be another one where they do the sequel, but it's just an S. Um, oh well. I should have thought about that before starting this podcast, but that's okay. You get it. It's a thing. Um, and this one was the first one to do it. And honestly, it's kind of clever because Alien, there's one alien. Aliens, there's many aliens. And you know what you're getting into. As soon as you walk into the theater back in 80 something, or when you load it up on your on your big TV on Max, my favorite streaming service. And it's like, okay, I want to watch Aliens. And I think Aliens picks up right where Alien left off. You got Sigourney Weaver in a little hibernation capsule with a little cat. I don't remember the cat's name. I'm sure it's something space related, like Buzz or something. Is Buzz Lightyear named after the astronaut? Let's talk about that.
I would imagine so.
I would imagine so too.
It would feel like a weird coincidence if they didn't always think of it. Maybe they just like subliminally like thought of it. And they're like, that's a space guy name.
That's a space guy. Yeah, because you never see an astronaut named Neil.
Yeah.
It's like everyone names their astronaut character Buzz because
Buzz is just so much more exciting.
Buzz is a great name.
Mm-hmm.
We should bring that back. Gen Z, if you're listening, you should name your baby Buzz because that's fun.
Just Buzz, nothing else.
Yeah, like an Ichiro situation where it's like they just go by Buzz. No last name. Actually, does Ichiro have a last name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot you're not a baseball guy. I'm a huge baseball fan, so I know all about Ichiro. I think he played for the Mariners? Seattle? Somewhere? I don't know. Baseball guy, you only had one name. What were we talking about? Oh, Buzz. The cat. The cat named Buzz. I doubt that's what the cat's name is, but I'm going to call... I don't know
Good
why.
cat name.
It's a good cat name. I am a fan of pet names that are middle-aged dude names. So like a big fluffy mutt named Bill, or a small little chihuahua named David. Like that's just funny to me. And I when I get a dog, I will name him Bill, or her Bill. I'll name her Billy.
That's even better.
Actually, this is my female dog named Bill. That's a good idea. Here's my ultimate trick. I'm going to train a female dog to respond to he, him pronouns just to teach
Ooh,
the. Actually, I don't know who that would teach a lesson. Would that teach the
my
wolf?
cat is trans, so I'm on your.
Oh, okay,
We're good.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
possible.
it'll be great. Not that animals understand the concept of pronouns. I don't know if
Or gender.
animals really understand the concept of language at large. Um, but yeah, they don't understand gender. That's why dogs are stupid and why we're
Hmm.
cool because we have
Correct.
sexualities. You ever thought about that? That's what separates us from
No,
the beast. Beasts can't be gay. That's what I learned today on the Boy Time
dogs
podcast.
never hump each other.
Dogs never hump each other. Gay penguins don't exist,
They do not exist.
and neither do gay lions, which is
The
ironic.
male seahorses get pregnant because of woke.
That's true. Do you think that they called pride that because lions are the second
Ooh,
most likely creature to be gay?
I think that makes it a double entendre.
Oh,
They were cooking with that
so
one.
you think J. Cole named the event? Is
It'd
that
be
what
a
you're saying?
triple entendre.
Oh, that's true. What
We
else?
could just keep adding meanings.
That's true.
I like the one where people like put Pride Month and then they like rearrange it and it says Demon or something.
Those letters sound pride and a demon. How
Pride
do they?
Month.
Oh,
They have
pride
to add month because
month.
otherwise it wouldn't work.
Yeah, demon. And then what do the rest of the letters
I don't
spell?
know. I think they just erase them.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess you could just like can rearrange the letters and a quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog and turn it into Satan killer.
Yeah, I think it's clever. They were popping off.
The the people who say that Pride Month is demon, or the people that
It's my favorite thing.
okay, you think that's clever?
It's just like I like how people post it and think that it's like something. I think it's one of those that has like been rewashed so many times it's like reclaimed.
Oh, I could see that. I could see it. And oh wait, yeah, because yeah, the DEMON are all right
Hmm.
next to each other. Oh,
Smart.
that okay. You know what? You know what? Sometimes the homophobes are clever. You gotta give them that.
One time.
One time, making a pretty fire shirt, which I wouldn't wear, just for the record.
Of course.
I just want to put it out there. I know that we have the pride flag on our wheel and have had it on there for a long
It has been
time,
on there
but
forever.
I just want to virtue signal to everybody that I'm an ally. You know, I just want to put it out there. So, anyways, back to the hit film Aliens. Sigourney Weaver. I'll just actually call her Ripley because that's going to be way easier to say. I know I usually just call them the actors' names the whole time, but it's Ripley. And Ripley, believe it or not, is going to be going on a
Zoom.
spaceship. Thank you. I'm the first person to think of that too. No one's ever made a Ripley, believe it or not, joke about Alien. Probably.
I don't know.
I,
Someone probably has, but
I have to imagine that someone has done that at some point. Um, but yeah, she's going on a spaceship, and there's this dude whose name is Paul Reiser. That's his name in real life. Ripley is the only one I'm going to call by the character name because I don't know anyone else's. Except for the lady. There's a lady who has a big gun. Oh, jeez. Ah, I don't remember what her name is. But they call her it like 1,000 times. I'm going to have to look up the cast so I can see what her name is because it escapes me. Oh, it's Vasquez. Of
mm,
course. Of course. But yeah, Paul Reiser is on a ship and he's like, hey, Ripley, would you like to um, come with me. We're going to go down to the planet that you just escaped from, where there was a big alien that killed everyone else on your ship except for you and that little cat Buzz. We're going to go back there because you've been in that hyper sleep for 50 years. And in that time, we have established a colony on that planet and things are going swimmingly. And by swimmingly, I mean we've lost contact with them and have been out of contact with them for months now. So I think we should go down there and investigate. And by investigate, I mean investigate with like a bunch of Marines to blast a bunch of aliens to smithereens. And Ripley, I was about to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. It would be funny to fill this entire review with Ripley, believe it or not, does go on her fun little vacation to blast away a bunch of aliens and avenge all of her people that were on the original ship. Like, I think Harry Dean Stanton was on the ship, an alien. Um, that's it, I think. There's more people, but that's the only one that I can name. And so they go on a ship, and there's a bunch of Marines, and Bill Paxton is there, and he's kind of doing his shtick of playing a goofy slime ball. And Lance Henriksen is there, and he's playing Guy with a big gun. And Jeanette Goldstein is there, who's playing Vasquez, who is Lady with a big gun. And then Kyle Reese from the Terminator is there, and he's playing Guy. I think that guy just always plays Guy. Because, like, what is the defining characteristic of Kyle Reese? Nothing, really. He's just a dude. And similarly, in this movie, he's playing Dude, who is a soldier who shoots things. And it's a squad of a bunch of other people, too, but it doesn't matter because they all die. Spoiler alert for Aliens. And so they go down and they land on the ship. Well, actually, they land on the planet and nobody's there. And then there's a little girl, and her name is Newt. And Ripley, believe it or not, actually takes the little child and adopts them as her own. And it's pretty sweet. And then aliens attack, and then they blast, and then they shoot, and a bunch of people die. And then they go away, and then they win. That's Aliens. They go to a planet, blast a couple of things, then they're like, "Uh-oh, our ship was shot down." Actually, it wasn't shot down. There was an alien on the ship. And then they're like, "We need to call backup." And then they go to a recon tower, call backup, get on a ship, and then the movie ends. It's a great tale. Honestly, it's way better than the first Alien, and I'm lying when I'm saying this. I know that everybody loves James Cameron. I have never been that person. In fact, I might go as far to say that he is the most overrated director in Hollywood. People who grew up with his movies love James Cameron. I didn't. And when I watched them later in life, I was like, these are pretty solid popcorn blockbusters. There's not much more to them than that. And people talk about James Cameron like he is like some sort of like god when it comes to like he's like a genuine one of the goats in terms of like being a director. I frankly don't see it in any of his movies. They are just crowd pleasing blockbusters. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's also not a whole lot to be said in a lot of his movies. They're just there to entertain. And I think James Cameron is also he reminds me a lot of Drake. And I don't think that James Cameron has ever had inappropriate relations with a child. I could be wrong. I don't know much about the man, but I know that he has a goatee, and that's pretty much all the evidence I need to say that he's probably a bad guy. Um, but he always kind of seems to chase the money thing and like oh, I think he's like really proud of having like 3 movies in the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. And I think he views that financial success as like an indication of quality, which isn't always true. I used that aliens story at the beginning to kind of like segue into this greater conversation about James Cameron because he's always had that view of himself where he's like, I'm James Cameron, I'm going to make a sequel to Aliens and I know it's going to make money. And it's like, oh, okay, James Cameron, we will do that for you. And I don't know how successful it was. I mean, it spawned a franchise. Well, I don't know. The sequel didn't. But the first one, I guess, did. But what's interesting about the Alien franchise is that for some reason, it kind of, well, I don't know. I guess it didn't launch James Cameron's career, but it was like Ripley Scott's first big hit. And then it was a huge hit for James Cameron. And then Alien 3 is like, I think it might be David Fincher's first movie, which is, I guess, good. I've heard that the movie's not very good, which is fine. David Fincher has a lot of great movies. But it's kind of interesting that those first 3 have like arguably some, well, I don't know about arguably, but some great talent there. They didn't like cash out and just get like a random dude to like make Alien 3. They got like talent, and I like that. But I don't have a whole lot to say about Aliens. It's fine. It's a pretty standard action movie. Basically, kind of takes away the whole mystique of the xenomorphs and makes them mindless grunts. What was a formidable foe in the original Alien movie, it took like 6 people to take it down, is easily killed by like just normal soldiers. And granted, the soldiers do have big gun and they are sci-fi gun. Um, I just think it's not very effective as a as an alien movie. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think just Alien is held to a very high standard for me. And it's not even a movie I really love. I think it's just very effective as a sci-fi horror movie. So it just feels weird for the sequel to not be a horror movie at all and just be an action movie. It'd be like if Halloween 2 wasn't well, maybe that's a bad example. Is there a good sequel to a horror movie? Um,
You have to get through like 5 Friday the 13th.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't even like 4. That's one that everyone likes. People really like some. Well, I don't know. People really like Exorcist 3, but that's not really. That wasn't even really supposed to be an Exorcist movie. Um, I don't know. I feel like most horror franchises are just like there's one good movie and then they made 12 movies and they're all terrible. Um, which I don't think is actually the case for Alien because I think those tend to be pretty solid because they mix it up all the time. Maybe that's what I'll do after this. I will watch all the Alien movies and I will be a big sci fi geek again. No more monkeys for me. I'm done monkeying around. And I'm all about Ripley, believe it or not. And that's how I'm going to
Got him
end.
again.
That's how I'm going to end my hit review for Aliens. James Cameron can die. I don't care. Keep making those Avatar movies because I'm just going to keep not watching them. And I don't care if film Twitter is like, actually, these movies are pretty good. I don't care. Fuck you. That's all I have to say. I'm going to toss it on over to Babby now for his segment of the show, music.
I love music.
Me too.
Um, I'm not talking about James Cameron.
Really?
I don't think he makes music.
I don't think so either.
Cool if we did.
It would.
Um, guess we'll start off with news, since we are a
Oh,
news podcast.
I guess
Or
so.
it's a section. Uh, the Smile has some teasers,
Oh.
cryptic teasers, on socials. I think this is pointing toward something. People have started to decode them in their track lists and song names. Uh, I don't know if it's a third album because I don't understand how if you don't have a Radiohead album in 10 years and then you put out three Smile albums in 4 years, but possibly.
It's
But
possible.
I don't know. I'm kind of like thinking it's going to be like a weird deluxe or little EP side thing because like you just put out a record in January and then we just had this like vinyl exclusive two single thing. Um, and Johnny's in the hospital still, I think, recovering. So I don't know if this is really going to be a new record or not. Um, it could be like I don't know. The new single sounds very Tom electronic solo stuff forward. Um, so not too sure, but there are some developments. It's
Mm.
just weird to see them active. Um, but yeah, that's a thing. Just putting it out there. I don't have much to say about it or any takes on it, but it's a thing.
Okay.
Next, Foxing new single. There's actually two new singles. I forgot that they even released one in July. But Hell 99. It's crazy. It's very noise rocky, very emo, and it goes hard. It's insane. Um, I'm seeing Foxing next month because my girlfriend wants to go check them out in concert. So the record comes out like literally a week before the concert, so I will be listening to that. And I'm excited. I've listened to a couple of their records, and they toe that nice line between emo and kind of like more artsy rock stuff, which is enjoyable for me. So yeah, good stuff though. I'm liking what they're putting out. They seem like they have a good evolution on their sound. Um,
Nice.
Next, we got podcast timing hard. We talked about the Black Midi breakup last
We
week.
did.
The day later, Creep posted his first solo single.
Oh.
Really got podcast timing on that one. But I was correct in that he will be a solo act because, of course, he will. Um, but we got his first single, which is called Holy Holy. This feels like an evolution on the Hellfire sound. It's still very like theater-ish and eccentric and all over the place. Um, except like you mesh that with like Steely Dan and a little bit of Santana. It's a crazy six
Okay.
minute track. It's it's Latin jazz, progressive experimental rock, with like this character who he's playing who's just like a straight up like incel. It's the craziest track I've heard
Oh.
in a while. Um, so yeah, just some really like red pilled annoying redditor like lyrics, you know, over like this amazing like Latin prog rock progression in the instrumental. So I don't expect anything less from him. I think this is the way. But yeah, I'm excited for the full record. I think it comes out in October. Yeah, October 4th. The new sound, the cover's pretty sick. I feel like he kind of got the Ringo MS Paint treatment on that thing, but it
Oh.
does work. I enjoy it. It's striking, and I like that. I mean, I feel like Brat has the best cover this year, besides the whole like weird co-option by Democrats. But I think the point still stands that I like that cover art, despite all the annoyances. Um, but I don't know, just some chick cutting off some dude's head in a suit, and she's got like a Minecraft diamond hoe on like a plain yellow background. It's sick. But yeah, there should be a good record. I don't know if we'll do a reaction to it or not, but I'm definitely interested to see how this thing turns out. But he's off to a good start. Um, it is weird playing the song though because the lyrics are just like gross, but he also danced to it, so I get that's the point of it. But yeah, very good. All right, new chat pile as well. Mask, new single from the new record.
Masked Wolf.
This one's It's Mask with a MASC. They
Oh.
have Mask on like every single one of their like projects, just slightly different. They had the Mask on God's Country, and then I believe they had um, whatever their EP was. Yeah, they had Mask with a K on their 2019 EP, so they got something going on with that. But this goes hard. It's fantastic. I think it's like top three chat pile songs. I don't know. Everything just fits so well on this. It has like this really nice kind of like down tempo rhythm to it. It's pretty gothic, but it's still got like some amazing noise rock elements to it. Sludge metal is still there. It's just not as prominent. The lyrics are a lot more like, I don't want to say laid back, but they're not as like eccentric and all over the place. But it really really goes hard. I love the just feel and texture of this song. Um, they also have like a crazy music video with it. I have not watched it yet, but it involves like uh, pigmen and weird stuff.
Oh.
So I'm
Big
sure
man.
that's a fun watch. I'll get to that eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, I like this so much better than the first single. But super excited for this record as well. Comes out in October, spooky month. Fitting, I would think. This will be the third album this year that prominently features a cross on the left side of the cover.
Oh.
I don't know why there's three albums that have that kind of cover, but here
Uh,
we are. They all came out in the same year.
that's
You got
weird.
Knocked Loose, you got Peggy, and you got this. It's just really strange. I feel like if this is really good, I want my year end list to have all of them in a row. It just feels right. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, very excited for this. Yeah, I think that was all the new singles, unless I'm missing one, but I don't think I am. I only listened to one new record this week. The new Magdalena Bay did come out. I was debating if I wanted to put that on the wheel for the channel or not.
Mm,
I'm still debating it. That might be a good Bab Jab one. I'm sure he's listened to it already though, because that's kind of his jam.
yeah.
We still have not done the previous Magdalena Bay record. We should eventually. But yeah, I am very excited to listen to it. I'm just deciding if we should do it or not.
Mm,
I might just break this week and just listen to it. I'll see what kind of mood I'm in.
okay.
But yeah, I know everybody's going crazy over that thing though, so I will definitely check it out soon. We also got a new Fontaine's DC record. Did not listen to that either. I didn't listen to any new releases this week. I just was not feeling it for some reason.
Oh.
Um, so I'll probably check out that one. That one's romance. Then we got to do Spirit of the Beehive record as well. Cover art's some dude holding the avocado, but some other dude stabbing his hand. Just kind of rude, honestly. Um, but that's another new one that I have not listened to as well. So I got to catch up. I was just not feeling the new music this week. I was like, I don't know. But I did listen to something
Oh.
new, and it's so weird that I just said I didn't listen to anything that new that came out this week, and then instead I listened to a 2.5 hour album. Uh,
Oh.
so this is Natural Snow Buildings, a group I've been meaning to check out for a little bit. Um, this one is The Dance of the Moon and the Sun. Reason I listen to this now is because it just recently got uploaded to streaming services. Um, and it is fantastic. It is very, very drony. Um, it scratches like a very specific itch because like it's drone and folk, which you don't really get
Oh.
besides like Mount Erie microphones stuff. And it's a genre that's not really a genre. It could be like a very niche subgenre, but it's a very interesting sound. But it has like ambient and post rock and all that in there as well. But the most prominent things I'm hearing are just like drone music mixed with folk. Um, and it's just really, really, really satisfying to listen to. It's 2.5 hours, but it doesn't feel long, which I think is the highest compliment you can give something that's this long. Um, it's got two. It's a double album technically. It's the Moon side and then it's the Sun side. Um, there's like 25 songs. They range from like a minute long to like 25-minute long. But I don't know. It's really enjoyable. The mood and the atmosphere and everything is just like so built in and nice. I love drone music. Like Earth 2 is still really fantastic to me. This is more engaging than that record is. Um, I don't know. I just like having this like dissonance, just like you're always hearing something going on. And then you'll get the occasional just like gorgeous folk melody. The lyrics in this thing are really great. It has like a really like haunting but also calming presence at the same time. Um, and I don't know, I think it's pretty fantastic. Great to have on when you're just doing something. So yeah, this is definitely a group I'm gonna try to get into a lot more. Um, we got one more Mount Erie microphones thing. We're doing that on the channel this week. Then I can wrap that thing up. Um,
That's true.
I don't think I'm gonna do a deep dive on natural snow buildings because I'd be 45 by the time I do all these. Because they're, I don't know what you do as a band. I think they're like a French duo. They're like, we have to get together and our albums have to be 2.5 hours long, and we have to do one like every single year. Um, yeah, this one was 2006. I'll probably go to 2004's The Winter Ray next. That's also 2.5 hours. Uh, the one that it's really intimidating that I don't know if I'll ever get to is Daughter of Darkness, which is 6 hours long. I don't know if I can do that. I might have to split that up into a couple of days, but I am really digging the sound of this stuff. I feel like somehow I keep going deeper down like the music well and finding these more and more like niche genre things with like incredibly like drawn out drone music. I'm waiting for like my bounce back where I just start listening to like 4 minute pop artists again. But I feel like I'm just digging deeper and deeper into this well of just like atmosphere and drone. But I'm enjoying it. It's cool. It fits the vibe right now, so I'm going all in on it. But it's fantastic. It's not too. It's like it seems intimidating until you put it on, and then it's pretty easy listening from there. But it's pretty fantastic. So check it out. That was the only album I listened to this week. So I could have listened to all of the new releases or Natural Snow Buildings once, and I chose that.
That's
So
fair. That's fair, I
um,
think.
yeah, it was a relaxing, rejuvenating experience.
Good.
So, but I think that's pretty much all I
Okay, okay. I have not listened to anything. I listened to the
have.
John
What?
Legend Sufjan Stevens song.
Oh,
It,
okay.
it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It felt like it was made for like a kids show or something. Like it, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever heard, you might not have, there's this Emotion Heap song called The Happy Song or something. It's
I
like
don't
a
think so.
single that came out in 2016. I don't really know why it exists, but it's like just this super bubbly, like kids chorus. Like it sounds like a kid's song. And it was that kind of vibe, but for some reason it was John Legend.
Of course.
I don't know why Emotion Heap did it either, but I guess it's a thing. And Sufjan is on the John Legend one for whatever reason.
Great.
He doesn't have like a verse. I think he's just doing background vocals.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't know why.
How do you get Sufjan on your song? I'm like the only thing you can think of to do is like I want you doing the backing vocals, please.
I don't know. I don't even know why Sufjan agreed to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, he doesn't like do
Hospital
that very
bills are
much.
expensive.
Well, I guess so. I guess so. Maybe you should just go on tour like the rest of the artists do. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Sufjan.
Don't do that, Sufjan.
Come
Do a
on.
tour, but like wait a little bit.
No, do it now.
If there's a javelin tour, I'm buying it immediately.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
all I'm saying. But
Absolutely. That's why I want it today.
yeah,
Frankly, it should have come out yesterday. You should have announced the release date
I don't care
yesterday.
if you're in a wheelchair.
I don't care.
Play music for me.
Yeah, that's all I ask. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really listened to anything new. I've been listening to Seven Swans
Mhm.
and I've been kind of going back to the Mountain Goats record. I know that's not out yet, but
It
um,
will be
it will
soon.
be soon, and it's very good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been listening to Hosier Hosier. That's nice. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's pretty good. So
All you need.
that's all I need. So I'm going to move on to the hit film. The hit. I don't know why I always say hit film. The hit album Wasteland Baby by him, which has Mavis
All right.
Staples on it
Mm.
for some reason. I didn't know that Mavis Staples was still alive in 2019.
Yeah. Mavis Staples actually did a Run the Jewels feature the following year.
What
So
the heck?
not the craziest thing.
She's still alive. She's 85.
Yeah.
Good for you, Mavis Staples. Yeah, so I might check that out. It has a Titanic Rising cover.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when did Titanic Rising come out?
2019.
Oh, is it a Coinky Dink? Probably a Coinky Dink.
Probably.
Because
I think hers is much better than this.
well, yes, that is true. Because it's real. I don't think this is
It
real.
is real. This doesn't look. Yeah, this looks doctored for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually underwater. And then for his new album, I don't even know if they really buried him. Come on, Funkadelic did it 50
He
years
does have a
ago.
little dirt in his teeth. Maybe he ate through the dirt.
That's true. He pulled Uma Thurman and Kill Bill 2
Yeah.
and dug his way out. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
You get Brandy Carlisle on that one, so
One second. I need to look up who that is. I don't care if that's unpopular or if I lose my music
that's okay.
credit card. I don't really know who this person is.
She was all over the Grammys that one year when she released an album.
Oh,
2021, I think.
Oh, so she's a
she
a
was
new
in the
artist.
Barbie soundtrack.
Oh,
No, not necessarily.
oh, okay, perfect. I will report back next week with Wasteland, baby.
Yes, sir.
And other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I've been still listening to Guard Dog by Sea Rose. It's a very good album. Very sad. It's the cover is very blue, and it fits. Here's a trick for any upcoming musician. If you want to have a sad album, just make it blue. That's what Joni Mitchell did. She even just named it Blue.
It's a sad color. Yeah, exactly. That's why the album is so praised.
Yeah. We're like, well, you know what you get. It's like, one second. I need to look up the film. There's a hit slogan for the movie Pieces. Pieces. It's exactly what you think it is. That's the subtitle for Pieces.
That's a good tagline.
And I think it's just a movie about a dude with a chainsaw that cuts people into pieces.
At least you know what you're getting.
Exactly. So that's the same thing. Joni Mitchell Blue. It's exactly what you think it is. It's a sad record where Joni Mitchell sings. And she's on the cover, so you know it's her.
It's true.
Guard Dog is blue, but it's two children. I think it might be an old painting that they used as a album cover. I have no evidence to support this.
It is a good album cover.
It's a pretty good album cover, and it's a pretty good album. It's on my wheel, and we might do it sometime. Probably in October. Actually, that would be the perfect time to do it. So maybe exactly in October. Maybe November. We should have
a spooky, like if we weren't so crammed for videos, we should do like a spooky month.
We did do that. We did what's that?
We did clipping.
Clipping. Yeah.
We could do a whole month of spooky records though.
Yeah. I don't know any other spooky records.
Busy.
Yeah. And what else is spooky?
I could find some spooky stuff for us.
We could just listen to like Halloween songs.
There you go.
That's a good album.
Yeah. Just the Monster Mash, like 50 different remixes of it in one video.
Yeah. That'd be good.
That'd be pretty good. That'd be like psychological horror.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like the Dementia album, where it's like listening to the same album or the same.
Let's just listen to the Dementia album.
There we go. How long is it?
6.5 hours.
Okay,
I think
that's no problem.
That's doable.
That's easy. You know, we're gonna be
copyrighted for it.
No.
Is it on Spotify? I don't think The Caretaker has a Spotify page.
Is that what it's called? The Caretaker?
Yeah. Well, maybe it is on Spotify. It is. It feels like it shouldn't be on Spotify. I feel like you shouldn't be able to add this to a playlist.
What album is it?
So it's everywhere at the end of time,
Oh, and they
and
just
there's
cut it
6
up.
stages. Yeah,
Oh.
because each stage is a stage of dementia.
Ah. Yeah,
I have not
that's
done this yet. It used to be a hot thing when it came out.
really.
I was too much of a coward to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We could do it. That's the
Yeah.
next series. We did Bon Iver. We're gonna finish up Fleet Foxes after. Well, we didn't do. We're not done with Bon
Okay.
Iver.
If we ever get to 10K on the main channel, we'll do it.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna remember that. I'm not gonna remember
Okay.
that because that's gonna be
I feel like
like
we shouldn't. Yeah.
that's
I
gonna
feel
be
like we
like
should record that on our own time and then mash it up into a video. It's an experiment.
mm, mm,
You
that's
have to
a
lock yourself in a room for 6.5 hours and listen to it.
see. I don't. I would have to like take a day off, and then my
Yeah.
entire day would be that, and I don't know if I
Like
want
your day's
that.
gonna be ruined after it too. So you have to just like
Honestly, I would just
prepare.
take the week off and do it
Yeah.
on a Monday, and
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of the week is
Only go
recovering.
up from
Yeah, maybe I'll like get a bunch of like I'll get like a bunch of weed edibles, do them all
there.
at the
Oh,
same time.
yeah. Take a 500 milligram and then listen to the album and then
Yes.
actually have dementia.
Yes, yes. This is a good idea, but it's for
We
content.
record, and we record it.
Yes,
It's like the Russian sleep experiment point time edition.
that's right.
This is a great idea.
This is a really good idea. This is a good brainstorm. I hope
Mm-hmm.
everyone listening is taking notes and is going to remember.
That's
Um,
incentive to subscribe. If nothing
yeah.
else does.
Yeah. And if we ever get 100 subscribers on the Boytime Podcast channel, um,
I'll eat a lemon.
no, I'll eat a lemon too. It'll be a throwback
It'll be a throwback.
to a video that nobody can watch.
Nope.
Uh,
And that's okay.
that's okay. That was the thing that we did back in the day. I guess to explain it.
Pandemic was rough.
The pandemic was rough. We had a thing where if we ever got however many subscribers more than there were episodes of the Boytime podcast, then we were going to eat a
Mm-hmm.
lemon. And
It
I
was a
think
very specific goal.
it's a very specific goal. I don't remember. I think it was
I think
just
it was
like,
episode 69 too. I think it was really close
oh,
to that.
yeah. I almost wanted to say, I think it was like around the time we were doing videos, but that can't be true because I was not using that camera when we started doing
No,
videos.
you were not.
So
I
it
think it
must,
was a couple months before.
yeah. So it must have been like when we were doing commentary tracks and gaming
Yeah,
videos and stuff like that. You know, maybe was it Kangaroo Jack that pushed us over the edge?
actually, it probably was.
That's interesting. That's the best thing that came out of Kangaroo Jack, just in the whole, is that we ate a whole lemon.
Hmm.
Well, actually, didn't you and Babjab split a lemon?
I think I did a whole one. I think
Okay,
Babjab only did half.
okay. I remember I ate a whole lemon and I peeled it like
Hmm.
an orange, and that really
Yep.
that really weirded you guys out. It's like, why did you do
It
that?
was strange.
But it's the most efficient way, so I wanted to eat all the flesh of a lemon. And
Yeah.
I did it. I've done it, and I will do it again if the Boy
And
Time
I will
Podcast.
do it again.
I will do it again if the Boy Time Podcast channel gets over 100 subscribers. After I have dementia, after doing a
Yeah.
2 gram edible of
Hmm.
of weed and meth, and then I will listen to the dementia album and fry my brain.
You just got to go Kanye and be like, "Can I have the nitrous today? I need it for the I need it for the dementia album."
I need it for the dementia album so that I can eat a lemon.
Yeah.
Ooh, what if I eat a lemon while listening to the dementia album?
Ooh, that might be too much.
Yeah, it might be. It was
I
kind of
think your
terrible.
brain like auto resets.
Yeah.
Then
Hon-
all your senses are like overstimulated.
I don't know what like guy in China way back in the day like ate a lemon and was like, "This is good. We need to incorporate this in dishes." Because I ate a whole lemon and I don't know how anyone ever did it before.
That's because it's only acid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why did we cultivate lemons into being a fruit? Because they're
It's so
very hard.
versatile though. Like you
I
add water
guess.
and just sugar and then
Well,
lemonade.
that's true. That's true. I'm just saying, at a time where lemonade did not exist,
Hmm.
nothing that spawned from lemons existed, which I know is hard to believe. It's one of my favorite flavors. I'm just saying, I don't
It
know
is.
how it
I feel
got
like
past that stage.
yeah. I feel like my girlfriend can eat a lemon by itself and just not even flinch,
Well, that's kind of messed up,
which is
and
just insane.
that's the detail that I didn't really want to know about her, but I
Yeah.
guess I know that now. And I will be giving her a lemon for her to eat because I want this to be tested.
I
Um,
think it should be.
I think it should be. I would like to see this because I remember how hard it was, and it was probably the hardest
It's
thing I've
not
ever
easy.
done.
Yeah.
I have had a very sheltered and privileged life, and eating a lemon is the easiest thing that I have ever done, or the hardest thing that I've ever done. Um, I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth and
Not lemon flavored.
not lemon flavored. It was actually vanilla flavored.
Mm.
Yes, because I am uncreative in the bedroom, I guess you could say.
Maybe we should just like take a shot of vanilla extract
Oh, that
instead.
no, that sounds
That would be
worse.
awful.
That's an expensive video.
It is, and it's also like 10 times worse than eating a lemon.
Eating a lemon is probably healthy for you, and it's also going to cost
Hmm.
$2, if that,
Yeah.
for one lemon.
In this economy,
Actually, it
probably
might be
$2
five
for a single
dollars.
lemon.
It'll be $10 by the time we get 100
Yeah,
subscribers on the Boy Time podcast channel.
that's true.
Well, I guess that's it. We've had our lemon related hijinks, and the podcast is over. Farewell.